Hello, my wonderful friends. Megas here on a beautiful day in Asha. If you're brand new to the channel, we are Zoroastrians. We are the Magi. And today's video is what if? What if the original religion is the true religion? What would that mean to us in this day and age? I think you're going to like this one. And then also in the comments from one of our wonderful friends, he was asking about Jesus and the Magi and the Old Testament. And he said he's lost sleep over it this last week. I understand, brother. Been there, done that. And so at the end of this video, I'm going to address that because I have a feeling you're not the only one that has that question. A lot of Christians are coming over to Zoroastrianism. And I'm glad you found this channel because if they don't find us, they usually go to atheism. So I applaud you, and I thank Good Spirit that a channel like this is available. And speaking of that, there's a simple thing you guys can do to help get this message to the world. Just hit that like button. It helps us in the algorithm. Go to the comments and just say, Mazda be praised. The algorithm likes the interaction. We reach more people like this. All right, guys, enjoy. Wonderful friends, we're going to be in the Gathas of Zoroaster, Song 12. We'll be starting in verse 4. Today's message is, what if? What if the original religion is the true religion? How would that change our lives, our world today? You'll see with the original religion that God was just the highest principle of good. He was the love without the hate, right? He was always at peace. He never went to war. He wasn't on a continuum. He was always the highest principle of good. My friends, so think about that. What if, for a Jewish mom, there was never a God, a true God that said, stone your child for being disrespectful? How could that have changed history? How could that have changed a whole life? What would a mother feel like after she stoned her child? How about right now, my friends? The war is going on all around the world for the Abrahamic religions. The God of the Bible, the Quran, it's the same God. My friends, same stories. What if that's not the real God? What if the original religion of Zoroastrianism, the first religion, was the real religion? And the religions that branched off and they changed the attributes of God aren't real. How about the people that sent their children to go fight, kill, die in their wars for something that's not real? People stone their children for something that's not real. They sent their children to die in wars that aren't real. My friends, myself, I was raised in the Abrahamic religion. I developed OCD from reading the Bible cover to cover when I was a child because I was so scared of God and hell and devils and those stories, the God you could never please. You never won with that God. I could see that as a child from the very first story all the way throughout. What if God of the original religion is the true God? People think wherever you're born, your nationality, that chooses your religion, that chooses your God. My friends, that's your nationality. That's not your religion. Religion is a belief. And if you're looking for God, God means the highest principle of good. I want a God that looks like the highest principle of good. I'm not concerned with what God can kill the most men, women, and children. I'm not concerned with what God says, hey, look, that guy sacrificed his son to prove his obedience to me. My friends, I'm not concerned with a God that lets them have little women, children, sex slaves. None of that interests me. I'm not interested in what God can get away with. I'm not interested in smiting my enemies. My friend, I want the God that built the hospitals. I want the God that goes in and heals men, women, and children. Stops the molestation of children, instead of approving it like you see in the Bible. You say, oh, Megas, you're making it. No, I went to Bible college, my friend. I was going to be a preacher till I went to Bible college, and I had the rug ripped out from under me, and I went to apologetics class, and they tried to show me how to rationalize it, but you can't rationalize hell, my friends, and call it God, call it good. And I know, brother, exactly what you're feeling. These messages are already starting to merge together. You said you lost sleep. My friends, for years I would go home after school and put a pillow over my head while those lying loops, that scary God and those stories kept going through my mind. My friends, and nobody came for me except for Asha, except for Mazda, except for the all-good God. And that's the God I choose, the all-good God. My friends, and I will stand with that God, because that to me is good. God and good are the same thing, and Zoroastrianism is so simple. Good is good, bad is bad. If it ain't good, I don't want it. I don't want your gods. I don't want your books. I don't want your stories. I don't want your looping lies that drive people mad. My friends, because they're crazy stories, it'll make you crazy. So our wonderful friend Steve was asking, Megas, I still love Jesus. So do I. Good news, so did the Magi. 2nd chapter, book of Matthew. You went to Bible college too, brother. Do you remember the story? Said when the Messiah was born, all of Jerusalem was afraid. Not excited, afraid. But the Magi, Zoroastrian priest, saw his star. Why? Because Jesus is Seoshat. Jesus is Vohumana. Jesus is the God mind. What was the word of Jesus? That you and God are one. That is Vohumana. That place, that divine spark in you that has that realization. Jesus, he was the messenger to the Jewish people. They rejected it. They didn't want it. They killed him. My friends, did he tell Jewish stories? Of course, because he's talking to Jewish people. But you'll see the difference, right? When James and John said, hey, Jesus, these people just rejected our message. Let's call down fire from heaven like Elias did. Jesus said, you do not know what spirit you are of. Well, then what spirit was Elias of? My friends, when the leaders brought the woman caught in adultery and said, Moses said she's to be stoned, right? He didn't say, well, if that's what Jehovah said, that's what the Bible says, if that's what Moses says. My friends, he was tapping into a higher thing. He never used the word Jehovah. He always said the loving Father. What did the Magi say? The loving Father. My friends, I've always said this, the Gothas should be in front of the New Testament. Is the whole New Testament right or good? No, it's not. Obviously. But there's some good stuff in there. Don't throw out the baby Jesus with the bathwater. My friends, Jesus has some great teachings, but he also said something beautiful. He said, greater works will you do. My friends, you're going to have greater understanding. You're going to be able to do more because there's an ever-expanding good. There's an evolution where it's good and it gets gooder and gooder, godder and godder. My friends, you remember when we went through the 8-pointed star of the Magi and how it spirals out, and every time you go around it, you're more awakened, more alive, right? You don't go as dense into the lie and illusion and the heaviness of the sin. It gets lighter and lighter, brighter and brighter. My God, my God. Listen to this. Song 12, verse 4. The good spirit is changeless, untouched by shadow or deceit. He remains the highest principle, forever drawing every heart upward. The highest principle of good, meaning God is not on a continuum. He's always the highest principle of good. Hey, look at this. Man can be acting the fool, right? And God doesn't look over here and go, look what you made. Now I'm angry. Now I'm jealous. I'm hating. I'm warring. I'm killing men, women, and children. I'm smiting. I'm angry. And then come back up. That's not how God works. He's always just shining bright. Hey guys, it's nice up here. It's good up here in these high frequencies. Come up, come up, come up, spiral up, spiral up, spiral up. That's God. If If you ever read those stories as a kid and thought those stories in the Bibles and Qurans and Gitas don't sound God, don't sound good, that's wisdom. Verse 5. No false power can alter his essence. No darkness dim his light. We should be like Daddy. Don't let the darkness of the world dim your light. Just like man acting a fool doesn't change God's nature, right? Isn't that? I had kids. That's what I taught them. Well, Dad, at school, this guy said this and did that. And I said, no, you don't go down to their level, right? Why would we expect our God to do that? My God, my God. Thank God for Zoroastrianism. Someone go to the comments and say, thank God for Zoroastrianism and reason and common sense. I love this. He is goodness itself, right? That's what I love. God and good are the same thing. And we don't have to make up stories like, well, God had to do this bad thing because his ways are higher than our ways. And our minds can't even conceive why he had to do it. No, my friends, good is good, bad is bad. It's simple. It's easy. We understand it. And so does the true God. God is goodness itself. I love this. Not because he chooses, but because he is. And that's what we become. As we set down those false gods and those scary stories, and we take the true God, we attune ourselves to that. Pretty soon, we're not trying to be good. It's just our natural set point. It's what we are. It's what we think. It's what we speak. It's what we do. We are just good because we're good. If we're still trying to be good, well, we haven't got there yet. Don't beat yourself up. Just keep attuning yourself, my friend. We restore God's image. We attune ourselves to it. We change the world. Verse 6, O Mazda, may we mirror you in nature and in thought, living as reflections of your endless virtue. For when the Magi embody you in truth, heaven and earth are one. It's all about embodiment, my friends. The only prayer that is ever answered is the prayer you become. You want God, you got to become God. You want love, you got to become love. My friends, it's union, spirituality, religion. It's all about union with your God. What God are you going to choose? I choose the highest principle of good. My God, my God. If you got your book, Asha, go to Asha 13. It says the original word. All good comes from the Creator, and no evil comes from him. From this original word is the spiritual world made straight and the material world brought into order. My friends, it's that simple. God is just good. I was raised in the Abrahamic religions, went to Bible college. I know it's hard. They put such fear into you. But I promise you, if you'll set down those stories, and you can pick them back up again later if you want, but just for a moment, set down those stories. Again, we're just talking what if. Just a question here. Don't get scared. We're just thinking, what if the original religion is the true religion? So we just set down all stories and gods, humble ourselves enough to say, God, I don't have it all figured out. I don't want to make a wrong choice, but I'm going to set down everything I was given and think and hear from you. My friends, there's a divine spark inside of you that comes from good spirit, is made of good spirit. Those who come from the truth can hear the truth and hear from God. Don't think about what your pastor said or some apologetics course you took, something you saw online, or even something I say. Go inside. You know the difference from good and bad, right and wrong. Zoroaster, pure starlight. That's the star, the light that the Magi follow. Unmixed, undefiled, undiluted, pure light. The love without the hate, the peace without the war. The only thing that could come from a good creator's good mind is good. You know the original story. Maybe you don't know this. Maybe you haven't come across one of the videos, but in our holy text, it talks about before we came to earth, that we stood outside of time and space. We were one with God. Completely, fully. We had Vohumana, the Christ mind, God mind, that place where you and God are one. And the earth, this dimension, needed us. The very soul of the earth was crying out. And God said, the world needs you. It's up to you, though. It'll be like nothing you ever experienced. It'll be in dense form. In your very genes and DNA will be born sin and error. Sickness and disease could be diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, could be addictions, perversions, anger issues, things actually passed in from grandma and grandpa, mom and dad, that's inside of you. You've never experienced anything like this before, but you'll take with you a divine spark inside of you. And if you go, you'll move that needle from hate to love, from the wrong idea of God to the right idea of God, from darkness to light. But it's up to you. You don't have to go. You chose to come, and you saw it with the God mind. You saw your lifeline, all the possibilities, and you still chose to come. And God's so proud of you, and He promised you will not remain separated from me. In truth, it's impossible. You may feel it at times. You may feel fear, confusion, the darkness, the heaviness, but I'm always there with you. Matter of fact, it even talked about, it said the evil spirit told God that he was going to destroy man and separate man from him. God said, it's impossible. Man and I are one. You can't destroy me. You can't destroy them. You can't separate us. No more than you could chop off my arm. And then it said God prayed Yata'ahu, which is just speaking truth. And the lie goes away. Maybe you've believed the lie that you can be separated from God. Maybe you believe the lie that you're born a dirty sinner, separated from God, that you're no good. God can't even look at you. He looks at you with so much love and so proud of you. You are a hero for choosing to come into this. You didn't have to do it. And my friends, there is things that we experience that aren't good. And when you choose wrong, my friends, God doesn't punish you when you choose the wrong thing, but there's punishment in it, isn't it? Right? You know, example I like to use because it's fairly common where I live here is a successful man at work, has a beautiful wife and kids and family and home, a little dog, everything perfect. And there's a cute little secretary at work, sleeps with her, ruins his life, loses it all, and stuck with that secretary and thinks, what did I do? God didn't have to come down and punish him. That sin was punishment enough. My friends, drugs, alcohol, have you seen enough of that to know it's not one big party? It's hell. It's punishment enough. God doesn't change his nature to punish and judge. We knew we'd experience all that. But we grow and we learn and we keep pushing forward, keep climbing up higher and higher as we spiral out and up. More love, more peace, more God good. You were asking about the Bible, Jesus. I believe, this is my belief, I think Rome got their fingers in it. I don't think you can believe everything you read. I believe you have to go to that divine spark. There's a book written in you that sees and knows, that can't be touched by the hands of man. There are things in the New Testament I know that Rome got their hands in. I believe the system we see in the world right now is what I call Rome. I don't think you have to justify anything that's in the Bible. I think you just have to know your own heart. Choose the best you can with your own heart. Not from a book, not from a video, not from a preacher, not from a religion. Does your heart know right and wrong, good and bad? What love is? When you went to those apologetic courses, did something not ring right? Were you like me? My hand was always raised till they wish I would just shut up. I choose the all-good God. And I can still have my Jesus. Can I share a little story with you? Steve, I hope at least you're still here with me. It's been a long time. It's probably good for me to refresh this, and I hope I remember it enough. But it was been, I don't even know, 30 years. I was married, 2 kids, beautiful home overlooking the ocean in Southern California. We had a BMW and a Range Rover. I was living large, feeling good. I was going to Bible college. I was driving to class, and I heard from God so clearly. I can still remember where I was. I was just there. I remember looking at the gas station as I'm pulling onto the freeway, and I heard so clearly, I knew it was God, told me I'm about to lose everything. And God said, but I want you to hold on to one thing, Jesus. And it wasn't much longer. I lost my beach house, my pretty wife, my Range Rover, and I quit Bible college because I was fed up with it. I knew it wasn't good. I knew it wasn't God. I had planned my whole life since I was a kid to be a preacher. Now I'd lost everything. I even lost my direction. I was destroyed. Right where I needed to be. Sometimes you have to tear it all the way down to the foundation to rebuild. Otherwise, there's no other way I would have done it. I was too arrogant, too cocky. You weren't going to change my mind about my religion, my politics, my beliefs, you know. You get humbled, you're a little more open. I just got goosebumps through my whole body because guess who came for me? The all-good, loving Father, and brought Zoroastrianism. And guess what I got to do? I got to keep Jesus, just like I heard in that vision as I was going to Bible college, when I heard I was going to lose everything, but hold on to one thing, Jesus, because it was the Magi who saw his star, came and worshiped. Seoshant, Vohumana, the God mind. You know, Zarathustra said, you can't get to Mazda except for through Vohumana and Asha. Just like Jesus said, no one comes to the Father but through me, through the Spirit of truth. What was the word? Right? Verily, verily, I say unto you, he who holds my word has God life. What's the word? It wasn't words. The word is his message that you and God are one. I and the Father, one. That's whatever you want to call it. I know my Zoroastrian brothers, they don't like to use the name Jesus because they don't like Christianity. Jesus wouldn't have been a Christian, so don't worry about it. Doesn't matter the names, though. You know, I love the Sufi prophet and poet, Rabia. She said she used to cry out to God, but he never came. And then one day she had this idea, what if the name I'm calling God isn't really his name? And so she said, I made up a pet name for him that only he and I know. I don't tell anyone. And guess what? It worked. It's about the spirit behind the name. It doesn't matter the name. A lot of people are using the word God, but there's no God at all because it's no good at all. What is the spirit that you are in union with? I can only speak for myself. The one that came for me, the one that saved me, the one that loved me, the one is the reason I've come for 14 years every day so passionately, talking about Zoroastrianism and the all-good God in Asha. It's because that's the one that came for me, that loves me, and that I love with all my heart. So I hope that helped someone. Steve, go to the comments, let me know. Anyone else, please let me know what you think. And if maybe you have questions, and maybe at the end of our videos we can address them like we did today. All right, you know this. I love you.
Asha is Asha.